Happy morning, children. Once again, it's my happy privilege to welcome you all for this online class. And today we are moving into part 2 of history lesson 4, and the title of our lesson is the Delhi Sultanate. And in the last class we studied up to the rule of Alauddin Khilji. So after the death of Alauddin Khilji, he was succeeded by weaker kings, and slowly some of the provinces of the Sultanate were captured by their enemies. And finally, the Khilji dynasty was declined. It came to an end. And the Khilji dynasty was replaced by the Tughlaq dynasty. And the founder of the Tughlaq dynasty was Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Should not get confused with Ghiyasuddin Balban. He was from the slave dynasty. And here we are studying about Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He was the founder of the Tughlaq dynasty. And one of the major tasks of Ghiyasuddin was to recover the lost territories after the death of Alauddin Khilji. So he was a very great fighter who wants to regain back the lost territories. And also in one of their provinces, the ruler of the province of Warangal, his name was Prataparudra. He refused to pay tax to the king. And because of not paying tax, Ghiyasuddin, he called his son Jona Khan, and he asked him to collect a troop and fight with Prataparudra. So under the command of his father, he took a troop of military and he fighted with the ruler of Warangal, Prataparudra, and he defeated him, and he brought a great wealth, great riches from that province. Okay, so using that riches, Ghiyasuddin laid the foundation of a great city called as Tughlaqabad, which is located near Delhi. So after this, Ghiyasuddin's son Jona Khan wanted to rule the kingdom, but his father Ghiyasuddin refused to surrender the kingdom to the son. And finally, cunningly, Jona Khan killed his father, and he ascended to the throne in the year 1325. In the year 1325. So Jona Khan, after reaching the throne, he changed his name into Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He was a highly educated man. There was no man in the entire Muslim rule with such a great educated knowledge. He was a multi-talented man. He knows astronomy. He knew medicine. He was a great poet, and he was a great speaker. So he was a man with multi-talent, but even though he had such talent, he was a very cruel man. Even he killed his father to get the throne. Okay, and moreover, all the previous sultans, they ruled only the northern part of India, but Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he wanted to rule the whole subcontinent. And also during night time, he forcefully took all the natives of the Delhi, and he shifted his capital city from Delhi to Devagiri, which is located down to south in Karnataka. So it was around 700 kilometers, and during those days, travel for such a long distance is a very hard task. And on the way, many of the local people died. And after reaching a long way, Muhammad bin Tughlaq realized about the wrong move he made. And after realizing his mistake, he brought back the natives to Delhi again. And with this wrong move, numerous natives of Delhi were killed on their way. And after reaching Delhi, it took several years to bring back their original condition. And also, Muhammad bin Tughlaq followed some wrong measures. One of them was he changed the barter system, exchanging of grains. Instead of exchanging, he brought coin system. He introduced coins. So with the use of coins, we can buy gold and other provisions. So what happened? There was duplicate coins released in the kingdom, and because of that duplicate coins, the economy of the kingdom was affected. They met with bankruptcy. And also, Muhammad bin Tughlaq forced a heavy task upon the peasants, upon the farmers, and that resulted in the revolt of farmers against the ruler. They revolted against the ruler and they stopped to cultivate their crops. And finally, there was a great famine in the country. And because of many wrong moves made by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, his kingdom was slowly became weaker and weaker, and some of the provinces were declared freedom. Some of their provinces were removed from his kingdom. And finally, he died in 23rd March 1351, which ended the Tughlaq dynasty. There is one more king. So, after the death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, his father Ghiyasuddin's younger brother's son, name of the son was Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So, he came to the throne. And Firoz Shah Tughlaq was exactly opposite to Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He was a generous man, he was a kind man, and he rewarded the Sufis and other religious leaders highly, and also he walked according to their advices. He also made numerous charities for poor people, and also he built many colleges and mosques and hospitals for the underprivileged people. And also he banned many of the cruel punishments which was brought by his previous ruler Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And also he abolished the forceful law which was against the Muslim rule. And also he promoted agriculture by waiving, that is by removing of the debts of the farmers, and he also constructed many canals for irrigation and to promote agriculture. And also he laid foundations for around 1200 new gardens, and also he restored 30 old gardens of which were made by Alauddin Khilji. And also he built some of the new towns such as Firozabad, Jaunpur, Hisar and Firozpur. And despite of all his great skills and peaceful rule, he spent his last days with unhappiness and sorrow because his son Muhammad Khan revolted against him. And finally, he died in 1388 at the age of 83. And so, after the death of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, the Sultanate became more weaker and weaker, and some of their provinces were already taken by enemies and they were declared independent. For 10 more years, the Sultanate was ruled by some weaker kings and it was divided into pieces. And taking advantage of their weakness, a ruler named Taimur from Uzbekistan, he made his entry into India. And Taimur killed thousands of local people, and also he captured the western part of India. He plundered many of the wealth and riches from many parts of India, especially from Punjab and Delhi. He carried not only wealths such as gold, silver, jewels, he also took some of the artisans like carpenters and masons to work for his monuments in Samarkand, which is near Uzbekistan. But Taimur did not establish his kingdom in India, only he came to plunder the wealth and riches and he went away in the year 1398. And even though the Sultanate was broken up into many pieces and it was weakened, it ruled for another 114 years by some smaller and weaker kings until the Mughal invasion, that is the entry of Babur. So, Taimur, before leaving Delhi, he left behind his representative named Khizr Khan as governor for Delhi and Punjab. So, his representative Khizr Khan, he founded the next dynasty, which is named as Sayyid dynasty. And the last ruler for the Sayyid dynasty was Alauddin Alam Shah. After Alauddin Alam Shah, Bahlul Lodi, the governor of Sirhind, he became the new Sultan of Delhi. And that ended the Sayyid dynasty and started a new dynasty called Lodi dynasty. And in 1489, Bahlul Lodi was succeeded by his son Sikandar Lodi. Okay, and Sikandar Lodi was a great patron of art and learning. He founded the famous city of Agra and made it as his capital, where today we find Taj Mahal. And he died in the year 1517, and his son Ibrahim Lodi succeeded the throne, and he was defeated by the Mughal king Babur in the year 1526 at the Battle of Panipat. And with the Lodi dynasty and with Ibrahim Lodi, the Lodi dynasty and the Delhi Sultanate came to an end, which was preceded by Babur, who established the Mughal Empire in India. And with this, our portions for term 1 is completed. So have a glance with your textbook. See you then. Bye.